Okay, we will be reading the weirdest dinosaurs, world's weirdest dinosaurs. Introduction. Dinosaurs are among the weirdest creatures that ever lived. When people first found huge dinosaur bones buried in the earth, they thought they had discovered the remains of giants or dragons. Now, scientists know that dinosaurs actually were amazing animals that lived more than 64 million years ago. Dinosaurs came in all shapes and sizes. Many of them had bodies that seemed strange to us, but these bodies helped the dinosaurs survive. This book features 14 of the most unusual dinosaurs that ever lived. So turn the page. Welcome to the weird world of dinosaurs. Fancy frill. Styracosaurus. You could say Styracosaurus had a lot on its mind, or at least on its head. Not only did this dinosaur have a long horn on its snout and two smaller ones near its eyes, Styracosaurus also had a spike frill around its neck. All these spikes and horns helped Styracosaurus protect itself. They may have also helped this dinosaur attack a mate. Stick your neck out. Diplodocus. Diplodocus was one of the longest dinosaurs. Its body was only about 13 feet 4 meters long, but its neck was about 24 feet 7 to 3 meters long, and its tail stretched a whopping 46 feet 14 meters. That's long. Diplodocus liked to eat plants. Its long neck helped it reach leaves and high in the trees. All thumbs. Iguanodon. In 1825, a scientist named Jaden Metal tried to put together the pieces of an iguanodon skeleton found in England. Metal couldn't figure out what to do with one spike bone. He thought it must be a horn, so he stuck it on top of Iguanodon's head. Today, we know that Mantle's horn was actually one of Iguanodon's thumbs. Bony head. Pachycephalosaurus. We're not picking on Pachycephalosaurus when we call it a bony head. This dinosaur had a dome made of solid bone on top of its head. Several dinosaurs are called bony heads, but Pachycephalosaurus had the biggest dome of all, more than 10 inches, 25 centimeters thick. Plant-eating Pachycephalosaurus was one of the largest dinosaurs to roam the earth. It became extinct about 64 million years ago. Sail away. Spinosaurus. Imagine carrying a big sail on your back. That's just what Spinosaurus had to do. This dinosaur had skin-covered spines as long as 6 feet 1 to 8 meters long, sticking out of its backbone. Spinosaurus probably used its sail to release body heat into the air to cool off on hot days. Totally tubular. Parasaurolophus. This dinosaur is part of a group called duckbills. But the really weird thing about Parasaurolophus was the hollow tube on top of its head. This tube could be up to 6 feet, 1 to 8 meters long, and was concaved to Parasaurolophus's nose. Scientists think this dinosaur may have made sound by blowing air through the tube. Parasaurolophus lived in the western parts of Canada in the United States. Many other duckbills lived there too. If they all honked through their nose tubes at the same time, the neighborhood must have been a pretty noisy place. Big body, tiny brain. Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus was a big fellow, measuring up to 30 feet 9 meters long, and weighing up to 2 tons, 1 to 8 metric tons. But its brain was only the size of a walnut. How could such a tiny brain control such a huge body? Scientists once believed that Stegosaurus had a second brain at the base of its spine. The Stegosaurus had a second brain. This probably wasn't a brain at all. It was a large group of nerves that these nerves might have controlled the movement of Stegosaurus' legs and tail. Slash and run. Dinosaurs. This meat-eating dinosaur may have been small, but it was fierce. Only 6 feet, 1 to 8 meters tall, and 150 pounds. Dinosaurs smaller than Dinosaurs was smaller than many of other dinosaurs, but it could run fast enough to grab lizards that were too quick for other dinosaurs to catch. Even more important, the second toe on each of Dinosaurs' hind feet had a curved claw that was 5 inches, 13 centimeters long. This claw could slash like a knife at Dinosaurs' victims. In fact, the name Dinosaurs means terrible claw. Built for speed. Compsognathus. Compsognathus was the smallest dinosaur known. It was only the size of a chicken. But this dinosaur could move very fast as it hunted small lizards and insects. Its bones were light and hollow like a bird's. In fact, Compsognathus was a lot like Archaeopteryx, the very first bird. A walking earthquake. Seismosaurus. In 1986, scientists in New Mexico discovered the remains of a giant dinosaur. This creature measured more than 130 feet and 40 meters long and probably weighed more than 38 tons, 35 metric tons. The dinosaur was named Seismosaurus, or earthquake lizard, because the ground probably shook wherever one of these creatures walked by. If the scientists' measurements are correct, plant-eating Seismosauruses would have been the largest land animal that ever lived. The tank, Ankylosaurus. Imagine walking around in a heavy suit of armor. That's what life was like for an Ankylosaurus, the largest of the armored dinosaurs. Ankylosauruses' spiked plates were great protection from other dinosaurs, and you wouldn't want to get smacked by its club tail. Slow-moving Ankylosaurus ate plants. It lived in the western parts of Canada and the United States and was one of the last dinosaurs on Earth. It died about 64 million years ago. Head brain. Sticomolic. One look at Sticomolic shows you why it's part of the group of dinosaurs called bony heads. This dinosaur's big head didn't contain a big brain. It was almost all bone. Scientists think these dinosaurs fought by banging their heads together, just like sheep and goats do today. Its bony head and strong neck and back kept Stigomolic from getting hurt when it got pushed around. Hey, Spike. Kentrosaurus. Like its clothes relieved Stegosaurus, Kentrosaurus had a double row of triangular bony plates running down its back. These plates may have been used to protect Stegosaurus from other dinosaurs, or they may have been used to warm and cool the dinosaur's body. Kentrosaurus also had a row of spikes on its lower back and tail. These spikes, which could be up to 2 feet and 61 centimeters long, made excellent weapons when Kentrosaurus swung its tail at an enemy. Ouch! Terror on 2 legs. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Some scientists believe that Tyrannosaurus Rex was one of the most vicious creatures that ever lived. Its huge size, 39 feet, 12 meters long, and up to 15 feet, 45 meters. Tail and its mouth full of long, sharp fangs make this dinosaur sound like a savage killer. But other scientists think that Tyrannosaurus rex was a scavenger feeding on animals that were already dead. No matter how you looked at it, Tyrannosaurus was a pretty scary sight. So, I hope you liked this video, and so goodbye.